couple announcements to make, and I'm joined this afternoon, by School Superintendent Dr. William Hite, Deputy Mayor Mike DeBaradinas, Recreation Commissioner Sue Slauson, Deputy Rec Commissioner Leo Dignam. I'm not sure if Laura Shore is here, but has been actively engaged in this effort, and Jeff Cardwell, Director of Facilities at the Philadelphia School District. But most importantly, we have the Capitola Tuzos soccer team. These are 8 to 13-year-olds who are with us, and Chris Duffner is the rec leader at Capitola, and Coach Ruth Bull. And so we want to recognize them and give them a big, big round of applause. Thank you. Welcome to City Hall. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I see in the back Councilman for the 1st District, Councilman Mark Squilla. Thank you, Councilman, for being here. As all of you are well aware, the Philadelphia School District has been and continues to face very serious financial challenges. They are our partner in so many different ways, not only to provide high-quality education, but also we're partners when it comes to taking care of young people, in many instances in the out-of-school time or after-school time hours. I care very deeply and passionately about our young people here in Philadelphia. And I know that in addition to strong academic programs, extracurricular activities are absolutely vital to the health and development of well-rounded young people to then grow up and be good citizens. And before I get to today's announcement, I think it's also important to understand the larger picture of the City of Philadelphia's Recreation Department programs and the facilities that we operate and that our young people utilize. Philadelphia Parks and Recreation Department relies on school gym space as a supplement to city-owned gyms to run its winter programs, especially in areas of the city that just don't have enough gyms. 26,000 children attend city-run programs in city gyms, and 16,000 attend city-run programs in school district gyms during the winter months. That, of course, is a total of 42,000 young people. The issue that we're discussing today, just as we discussed earlier this year or during the course of the winter, is the city's contribution to make sure that the 16,000 young people in programs that utilize school district gyms can continue their activities this year. Last winter, in the middle of the 2011-2012 activity season, the school district came to us at that time and shared with us that recreation programs that we run in school gyms that they could no longer afford to make them available to us, the city, free of charge. And we do, again, recognize the very serious financial challenges that our school district faces. In February, we announced an agreement with the school district that would allow the 16,000 young people in city programs that are held in school gyms to complete their winter activities that season. And for the months of February and March, that cost the city about $189,000. And that was just for 2 months of winter programs. And we knew, of course, that the coming winter season, a full 6 months, that we were going to have to be very creative in our efforts to run these city programs in school district gyms. For this year's winter season, our mission was to retain all of the city-run programming and activities in school district facilities and at the same time lower the cost of providing all of these services. We were able to accomplish this by making some small changes to the hours that city programs operate and in those school gyms, and the school district made a small change in staffing schedules to reduce the cost of overtime. And that leads us to today's announcement. And so first, in terms of cost, this year the city will pay $338,000 for the use of school district facilities, which is almost half of what it would have been for the entire 2011-2012 season if we hadn't made certain changes to schedules and consolidated some programs. In terms of hours, last year, 105 schools with gyms were open from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. This year, we will open 80 of those 105 schools with a reduction of 1 hour. They'll operate from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. But the remaining 25 schools of those 105, which are larger facilities with multiple gyms in those buildings, will accommodate a consolidation of programs and stay open from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on weekdays, and will open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. The weekend hours will begin on November 5th to accommodate the practice schedules. The Saturday hours will start on December 5th to accommodate game schedules. I'm very mindful of the very serious issues, these very serious financial issues facing the school district and the city of Philadelphia, and I'm very grateful that the school district, the city council, and the leadership at our Philadelphia Parks and Recreation Department, and in particular, of course, again, Deputy Mayor DeBaradinis, Commissioner Sue Slauson, and Deputy Commissioner Leo Dignam and his team were able to put together a solution for this challenge. This is a smart and collaborative approach to provide the highest quality services to our young people while still struggling with limited public resources. And again, there will be no loss of slots in programming. All of the 42,000 kids participating in city recreation programs will be able to return as normal this year, including the 16,000 kids who are in programs that utilize school district facilities. The difference will be that some of the program schedules have been slightly altered, and their locations, some, have been consolidated to allow the same number of programs to operate in fewer facilities, thus lowering the cost to the city. This is good news for our students, our young people, and certainly the city taxpayers. In the next few weeks, we'll have more information about specific locations and schedules for individual organizations. And for example, if they will be using a different gym or have slightly different game or practice schedules. Let me say one last thing. I certainly do also recognize that change in schedule or change in location can, and in some instances will, have an impact on the students, their parents, coaches, community members, our elected officials, and many others. And that, again, I recognize as a parent that change of schedules can be disruptive, whether it's the times or the locations, certainly for our parents. But let us keep in mind that we try to be as mindful as possible about what's most important here, that our young people have the opportunity, after school and on the weekends, to be in safe and enjoyable programs overseen by those who care very passionately about children. In addition, there's still also flexibility in this plan to accommodate any issues that may arise for certain teams or individuals as a result of these proposed changes. If you're an administrator of a program, a coach, a director, or an instructor, please contact the Philadelphia Parks and Recreation Department with questions related to your particular or specific program. With that, let me introduce our great school superintendent, Dr. William Hite.
Thank you, and good afternoon. I would like to thank the mayor and our friends in the Parks and Recreation Department for their leadership and support. And that leadership and support is a really big deal, as evidenced by this announcement today. We appreciate this partnership with the City of Philadelphia to expand access for youths involved in athletic and cultural programs. After-school programs add immense value to the lives of our students and our community. I'd like to thank the mayor and our city leaders for supporting our students, families, and community organizations. In these tough economic, financial times, we are faced with a lot of difficult and tough choices. I commend our city leaders on behalf of the School District of Philadelphia for standing with us to do what is best for our children. The arts, culture, and athletic programming provided by recreation in our school buildings will shape our students' lives, their dreams, and their futures. This collaborative effort clearly puts our students and their needs, their abilities, their hopes, and their dreams first, and will assist us as we work towards long-term financial stability. So I want to once again thank the mayor, members of City Council, and our friends in the Parks and Recreation Department for their leadership and support for all of the students in the School District of Philadelphia.
I understand there may be something going on with our visitors here. Oh my goodness.
Does this amount cover the school district's entire costs for these programs?
I believe it does. Yeah. Overtime costs, yeah.
Other utilities?
Yeah.
Are there any other costs?
6 to 730 cost is not included in that 338 that's picked up by the school district.
And is there an estimate for what that is?
Yes, 1.8.
Good.
Sure. The total savings that we are projecting from this is 1.8 million.
What is the cost of the 6 to 730 period?
I don't know the cost. Jeff? Yes. Jeff Caldwell is our facilities chief.
The cost is roughly about $800,000 of utilities. The city of Philadelphia is offsetting that with the $338,000. So it's really splitting up this program 50-50 in a sense for us. When we adjusted our staffing levels, it knocked out all overtime costs. So the staff is in the building on straight time, so our budget isn't affected by the hours that we're opening for their use.
So the 800,000 total includes
Comes-
both staff and utility costs?
Yes, and last year we projected our spending on this was roughly $4 million, what we spent last year, so it's roughly a $3.2 million savings on the way that we're moving forward with our programming now with the city.
Had somebody at some point proposed eliminating this entirely?
Eliminating these programs?
Yes.
No.
The school district said, we can't afford, we need to stop this.
No.
Point, Mayor, I believe that, or when the school district made the announcement earlier this year, I believe that programs that participated or wanted to use buildings past the 7:30 timeline had to pay. Is that still in place? Is that still the case?
The answer to both those last questions were, the school district came to us and said, we can't afford to go after 7:30. So if any groups want to use the schools, they have to pay. That's when we started. This was back in August. We met with the school district, Jeff and his team, and then we brought our proposal to the mayor that the city put up the money to pay for those extra hours so that the youth groups and the sports groups wouldn't have to pay.
Would be a charge then for those?
No charge.
Are some of these programs run directly by the rec department, others by private organizations?
The programs are run by the rec department as well as the, local youth groups.
Estimate for how many groups or how many children may have been going beyond that, were incurring charges to go beyond the 7:30 hours?
Well, we got requests from 109 community groups, mostly sports groups, but also drill teams and theater groups, cultural groups like that, dance groups.
And I'm sorry, those were requests to...
Requests to go past the time of 7:30 and on Saturdays.
Have you been able to accommodate all 109
Yes,
at no cost to them?
correct.
Can you describe the different sports and other activities that are covered across the board here?
The winter program is mostly basketball and indoor soccer. And then there are cultural programs like drill teams, dance groups, musical drama groups. That's about it, I think.
In the city budget?
Indoor track is another program that we're keeping going based on this.
What's the question?
Where's the money coming from in the city budget?
Same place it always comes from, general fund. Some will be from recreation. We may need to transfer additional dollars to the recreation department budget. But I think for me and for all of us up here, what's most important is that we have these programs in the first place. Ultimately, we'll actually save money and save lives by making sure that young people have quality out-of-school time, after-school time, and some weekend program activities. This is very, very important, not only for the kids, but I think it's important for the city of Philadelphia. Anything else? Last question.
Say that this is for this school year or this is going forward?
The announcement today is about the current school year. We'll certainly look for longer-term planning, but we just want to make sure that everyone knows that the winter season is coming up. It's a particular season, and that it's covered.
The press release refers to a 5-month season, and I think you referred in your remarks to a 6-month season. Is that the preseason time?
What I have is November 5th to March 23rd. Were you planning to take one of the classes, Bob? You trying to get your schedule together? Is that?
Is the 42,000 total number of kids that are involved? What is the age range?
They're from 5 to 18.
Does that number 42,000 really cover, can you give us a sense of whether that covers everybody who's interested in participating, or have budget constraints or other constraints sort of forced the programs to be exclusive in any way?
Those numbers represent all of the requests that we have. We are making space for everyone. So if there's more than that 42,000, we're open. It's still, as the mayor said earlier, there's still room for people if they need time or they need a team to get in there. We're always open. We're doing registrations for the next 4 weeks.
And the private groups that get involved, I mean, basically they make a commitment to serve everyone who is interested.
Correct.
Yes, and on that particular issue, it bears significant recognition. I mean, I certainly saw a great deal of this more so when I was a member of City Council. The amount of time and volunteer hours involved with just kind of regular citizens who are also actively engaged in these programs, is possibly almost incalculable in terms of time and certainly value. I'm not sure you could put a value, certainly a dollar value on that, and we want to commend those folks. Again, when I was a district council person, tons of people involved in all kinds of programs and activities, all for free, took every kid that came, and we're very, very appreciative of that service and that commitment, that volunteer spirit, that community engagement from so many folks who are involved with young people all across the city, beyond certainly what recreation department employees do or school district employees do, and that's important certainly as well. But we really appreciate also our citizens who give so much and just do it because they care. Last question.
I don't understand the math of the savings. 4,800,000 just by adjusting overtime?
Yes, the bulk of that was overtime, and then the other cost was utility. So a school district building closes at 6 o'clock. Some programs, many of the programs that we were in joint faction with the recreation department were going to 9:30 at night. So from 6 o'clock to 9:30, that was all overtime costs, which roughly could be $50 to $60 an hour per person that had to work, and then the utility costs on top of that. So with the adjustment of our staffing hours, having staff work from 12 to 8:30 in the selected facilities, there is no more overtime that will incur. So we have washed away the cost of overtime unless the city wanted to extend hours in the schools, which the 25 they selected, they're covering the cost of the hour overtime for us. So the cost that's remaining is just utilities.
What do the schools not get as clean, or what's the trade-off?
It's actually worked out well with the way that we planned this out, with shifting the hours where staff comes in at 12 o'clock, because now we have more staff in the buildings during the time that the children are there, compared to in the past, staff wasn't coming in until 2 o'clock. So you had a building that might only have 1 or 2 persons in it throughout the day. So this was the win-win for the school district and the recreation department, because we're able to staff our buildings better and still provide a service to the citizens of Philadelphia with the recreation department.
The contract negotiation with 1201, are these the unionized custodians?
Sorry, ma'am, say that again?
With the unionized custodians?
It was a joint effort, but every year the school district has the right to change their staffing hours. So it was just some good planning on both part of the district management team, the union working with us, and the city recreation department. And let me just make a correction on one thing too. So we're projecting that a 1.8 was that 1.8 savings, sorry, overall on this project, the way we're moving forward.
The union involved was 1201?
Yes, 1201 is the union membership for that group of folks.
Just to try and get a broad picture, I mean, you're going to be, in effect, making more efficient use of the school facilities you have by taking some of the high-tier, middle of the night or middle of the evening time and perhaps moving that into Saturdays when you have larger facilities, it can be more fully utilized?
Exactly, and I'll let Recreation speak on that, because that was a way of looking at our larger facilities to be able to do more programming in a cheaper cost. So, Leo.
The 25 gyms that were chosen for this program have a total of 52 gyms, because many of them have 2, 3, or 4 gyms within the building. So we're able to utilize a lot more space, and more teams are able to use those gyms.
So,
We can contact with additional questions, figure this out.
you can contact the deputy mayor or the two commissioners. So this is actually a good thing. Just like to maybe get that into the story. We're actually making a very positive announcement about young people and programming, keeping them in events and activities at a lower cost, better utilization of buildings, greater collaboration. I know that for some of you, this will be a stunning announcement. Maybe I should have led with that. This is really some good news. But if you have other questions, we'll be glad to try to answer them. But the big story here is good news for kids for this fall and winter sports season.
Run this news by the community organizations that are involved? What's
I think there's been a lot of contact and conversation with them. Yes, yes.
Please?
To the extent that people can be pleased in Philadelphia about anything, yes, and they're not paying. So, thank you so much for covering this good news story. I appreciate it.